Cold Skin follows a young meteorologist known as Friend trying to escape civilization by taking a job as a weather observer on an isolated island. On the island also lives a grizzled lighthouse keeper named Gruner. Friend quickly realizes that this island is not all it seems when his cabin is attacked by strange humanoid-amphibian creatures. He soon teams up with Gruner to fight these creatures. So Cold Skin was released today on Shudder, and I thought it looked quite interesting and decided to give it a go. It is an interesting film. It's fairly. I wouldn't. I wouldn't class it just in the horror genre. I'd class it as an adventure horror movie. The truth is, it's not a scary film at all. There's nothing really that scary in it. I would, if I was comparing to something, I'd compare it to more. I'd compare it as a more adult version of Van Helsing with Hugh Jackman, or the Underworld movies with Kate Beckinsale, or The Mummy, something like that. So a more mature version of those. Okay, so what did I like about Cold Skin? First of all, the location they've chosen is perfect. It looks amazing. The cinematography is beautiful. Everything is just so stunningly shot. The lighting is perfect. Everything about it. Every frame in this film looks amazing. Other things I liked about it was I liked the character of Gruner to an extent. I think it's because I liked the performance of Ray Stevenson. Ray Stevenson, you might know from Dexter, season 7. He was a bad guy in season 7 of Dexter, and I think he was also in a Thor movie as well. I liked his characters up until really sort of the mid to end points when he sort of seems so irredeemable by that point that it's hard to sort of care what happens to his character. But Ray Stevenson is he's a brilliant character actor. I've not seen him in too many things, but watching him this, I can just tell he's a great character actor. Another thing I liked about the film was in the opening act, David Oakes, who plays Friend. The Friend character is actually quite an endearing character at the start because he makes human mistakes. He makes mistakes which you'd expect of someone who's out of their comfort zone. So in the first act, I really liked that character. Another thing I liked about the film was, so this film's about these amphibious creatures which come out of the ocean and attack the two main characters in this lighthouse. And there's a few set pieces in this film of the amphibious characters attacking the lighthouse, and they're done really well. They're just really well made. They're really fun to watch, these set pieces in this film. So those big battles are all done really well, and they all have a different thing about them which makes them unique. Okay, so what are some of the things that I didn't like about this film? It's not as deep as it thinks it is. It's not as smart as it thinks it is. The film, before it starts, opens with the quote from Nietzsche: beware that when fighting monsters, you yourself do not become a monster, for when you gaze into the abyss gazes also into you. So, one of Nietzsche's most famous quotes. And that's what the film's about. It's about who's the real monsters in this. Is it the creatures from the water, or is it the human beings? And I think by the end it's fairly obvious that the humans are the ones who are the monsters. They're the ones who've invaded this land, and they're the ones who are the bad ones. They're the villainous characters in this, and that's something which has been explored a lot better in other films. Yeah. So another thing I didn't like about it was the CGI is fairly obvious. It's better than a lot of films, but I'm just really sensitive to CGI in films. A lot of the set pieces, although they were very good and they're very fun to watch, the CGI was quite distracting at points. Apart from that, I mean, I thought it was a good film. I thought it was enjoyable for what it is. There wasn't really anything that glaringly bad about it. The film does have similarities to Avatar in a sense. It's sort of a smaller version of the Avatar story, and a little spoiler here, so I would skip past this about 10 seconds. as it's by the end it's sort of another way of telling the story of that was in Moon, the 2009 film with Sam Rockwell. I should probably mention this. There's a female amphibious character who stays in the lighthouse with Gruner. Gruner basically treats this amphibious character as a slave. That's that's when Gruner becomes just irredeemable the way he treats this female amphibian character. Um, there's basically nothing likable about Gruner by the last act. So yeah, I'd probably give this a 7 out of 10. It's definitely worth a watch if you're not expecting a full-on horror movie. This is just a fun watch. There's nothing scary about it at all.